Dear Starseed from Gaia, he's going to apologize for taking so long, even though it wasn't his fault. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and the reunion guides are speaking through me with a message your heart was ready to receive. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to align with divine union. But here's the first revelation. His delay was not proof that he stopped loving you. He was moving through lessons, fear, and circumstances he had to face before returning with greater honesty. The apology coming forward is not only about time, it is his way of acknowledging what your heart endured while he found the courage to come closer. You didn't find this video by chance. Your heart called this message in, like this transmission to affirm to the universe, my heart is ready for divine love. Comment a level 11th in if you feel your heart awakening to divine truth. Your heart knows why you're here. Not every soul who hears this message is ready to act on it. But if your heart is beating differently right now, if something inside you whispered, "This is for me," then the next step has already chosen you. The Divine Love Frequency Code holds the complete activation sequence for sacred partnership. The wound clearing, the recognition map, the 11-minute practice that shifts your entire energetic field. You'll find it in the first pinned comment below, but only while this window remains open. And as you remain here, let yourself feel the difference between an apology born from guilt and an apology born from awakening. There are people who say, "I'm sorry," because they want to escape the consequences of what they did. Their words are a bridge back to comfort, not a doorway into responsibility. But there is another kind of apology that rises from a soul finally seeing clearly. It does not come to manipulate you, reopen an old wound, or ask you to carry the emotional weight again. It comes because something inside him has matured enough to recognize what your presence meant, what his silence cost, and how much courage it took for you to keep loving without abandoning yourself. This kind of apology does not demand immediate forgiveness. It does not rush your healing. It simply kneels before the truth and allows the truth to be witnessed. He may apologize for taking so long, even though the delay was not entirely his fault, because the human mind measures love by calendars, messages, meetings, and visible movement. We look at unanswered words and empty spaces and assume the silence means nothing is changing. The soul measures love through preparation. You may have looked at the distance and believed nothing was happening. You may have interpreted his hesitation as rejection, his silence as indifference, or his inability to step forward as proof that the connection was only something you imagined. But there are seasons when a person is not refusing love. They are being brought face to face with every part of themselves that would sabotage it. Like a seed beneath winter soil, transformation can be invisible for a long time. Beneath the surface, roots are breaking open, old shells are splitting, and the life that seemed absent is quietly gathering strength. He may have been confronting fear, shame, pride, regret, or the habits he used to protect himself from intimacy. Perhaps he had learned to run whenever love became real, to hide whenever vulnerability asked him to stand unguarded, or to remain silent because speaking honestly would require him to become accountable. The fact that you could not see this process did not mean it was not happening, but neither does the possibility of his inner process mean you were required to wait beside the soil forever. That does not make the waiting painless. It does not mean you were supposed to remain frozen, watching a closed door and calling your suffering devotion. Your life was never meant to be placed on hold for another person's awakening. The deeper truth is that while he was moving through his own lessons, you were being released from the version of love that asked you to prove your value through patience, pursuit, overgiving, or emotional endurance. You were learning to stop confusing a long wait with a sacred promise. You were learning that a door can be meaningful without being the door you must keep knocking on. This is where many souls struggle with divine love. They feel the depth of a connection and assume depth means they must tolerate confusion. They sense a sacred bond and believe they must keep reaching, keep explaining, keep waiting, keep offering chances. But divine love does not ask you to disappear inside someone else's process. It teaches you to remain open without becoming available to everything. It teaches compassion without self-betrayal, forgiveness without the abandonment of discernment, and patience without the surrender of your own future. It allows you to understand why someone was not ready without pretending that their unreadiness did not affect you. Even Scripture reminds us that there is a season for every purpose under heaven. There is a time to plant, a time to gather, and a time to release. There is a time to speak and a time to become still. Stillness is not the same as stagnation. You can be still before God while continuing to move through your life. You can carry love in your heart while walking toward the places where your gifts, friendships, creativity, and joy are waiting for you. Somewhere in your emotional body, an old belief may still be active. If he truly loves me, he will arrive immediately. If he has not arrived, I must not be enough. If I stop waiting, I will lose the connection. If I move forward, I will betray the love we share. These beliefs can make the heart confuse longing with loyalty. They can turn sacred timing into a punishment and transform hope into a silent contract where you promise to suffer until another person changes. Notice how quickly fear turns love into a test. It whispers that you must remain available every hour, interpret every sign, and preserve every possibility. It tells you that choosing peace is giving up, that setting a boundary is closing your heart, and that allowing yourself to meet someone new is disloyal to a bond that has not become real in the physical world. But what is truly aligned with you will not be destroyed by your healing. Truth does not need you to remain wounded in order to survive. The Arcturian heart wisdom carried through this moment is simple. Love is not proven by how long you can remain in uncertainty. Love is revealed by the truth you are willing to embody while uncertainty is present. Your heart can honor a connection and still choose peace. You can believe in a soul bond and still require consistency. You can sense that he is transforming and still refuse to accept less than honest, grounded, reciprocal love. The light does not ask you to turn off your discernment. In fact, discernment is one of the ways your light protects itself. The first chamber that must open is the chamber of worthiness. Not the surface-level idea that you deserve nice things, but the deeper knowing that you do not have to be selected by another person in order to become valuable. When your worth depends on his return, every delay feels like a verdict. When your worth is anchored within you, his return becomes a choice, not a rescue. You are no longer standing before his heart with an empty cup, asking him to decide whether you may drink from your own life. This wound often begins long before the relationship that awakened it. Perhaps you learned to earn affection by being easy to love, endlessly understanding, emotionally available, or undemanding. Perhaps you became the one who could sense everyone's pain while hiding your own. You learned to read the room before anyone spoke, to soften your needs before they became inconvenient, and to offer forgiveness before anyone offered accountability. Then, when he became distant, a familiar pattern activated. You began asking what you could do to make the connection safe for him, while ignoring the question of whether the connection was safe for you. Turn this key by placing your hand over your heart and noticing the part of you that believes love must be earned. Do not shame that part. It learned survival through adaptation. It may have protected you when you were young, when approval felt like shelter and rejection felt like exile. Tell it gently. You do not have to perform for love anymore. You do not have to become smaller to be chosen. You do not have to wait in pain to prove that what you feel is real. What unlocks here is not instant reunion. What unlocks is the ability to receive love without negotiating against yourself. The second chamber is the key of emotional honesty. A sacred connection cannot become stable while one person is pretending to be unaffected. You may have told yourself that you are fine because you wanted to appear strong. You may have spiritualized your sadness, calling it divine timing, when what you truly felt was disappointment. You may have forgiven before you had fully acknowledged the anger beneath the forgiveness. But the feelings you push into darkness do not disappear. They wait like underground rivers until they find another place to emerge. Your emotions are not obstacles to your awakening. They are messengers. The ache in your chest may be showing you where you abandoned your own needs. The anger may be revealing a boundary you never spoke. The grief may be helping you release the future you imagined so you can meet reality without forcing it to resemble a fantasy. Let tears be honest. Water. Let anger become information. Let grief clear the altar where you once placed an idealized version of someone above your own peace. When he apologizes, the most powerful response will not come from pretending that nothing hurt. It will come from being clear enough to say, "I understand that you are moving through what you had to face, and I also understand what your absence brought me through." Both truths can exist together. Compassion does not erase impact. Understanding does not cancel accountability. Your heart becomes magnetic when it stops choosing between softness and truth. The strongest heart is not the one that feels nothing. It is the one that can feel deeply and still speak clearly. The third chamber is the release of the rescuer identity. There is a difference between loving someone and carrying them. You may have felt his potential so vividly that you began relating to the person he could become rather than the person he was consistently showing you. You saw the tenderness beneath the defensiveness, the fear beneath the withdrawal, the love beneath the silence. Perhaps you were right, but seeing someone's deeper nature does not make you responsible for guiding them into it. He must choose his own healing. He must meet the parts of himself that fear intimacy, responsibility, vulnerability, or change. No amount of your understanding can do that work for him. No energetic connection can replace a human decision. No soul contract removes the need for communication, integrity, or action. You cannot meditate someone into honesty, visualize someone into courage, or love someone so completely that they no longer have to choose who they will be. This key turns when you stop sending your energy toward his transformation and begin bringing it back to your own life. Not as punishment, not as a tactic to make him chase you, not as a performance of detachment. You bring it back because your life is sacred even while another person is learning how to meet you. Imagine gathering every scattered thread of attention from his moods, his social media, his possible intentions, and his imagined future, and drawing those threads gently back into your heart. You allow him to experience the natural consequences of remaining closed, while you experience the natural expansion that comes from choosing yourself. The fourth chamber is the mirror of recognition. You may have been asking, when will he recognize me? But the deeper question is, when will I recognize myself? The connection may have awakened qualities within you that had been dormant. Your sensuality, your courage, your creativity, your desire for emotional depth, your willingness to tell the truth. It may have shown you a version of yourself you had forgotten existed, like a hidden room in a house you thought you already knew. That is why separation can feel so disorienting. You are not only missing him, you are missing who you became in his presence. You are missing the future your heart briefly touched. You are missing the sensation of being seen, even if the human relationship could not yet sustain that level of recognition. Sometimes we grieve not only a person but an atmosphere, a possibility, a song that seemed to begin when two souls looked at one another. But what he awakened in you does not belong to him. The love you felt is not evidence that your power left your body and traveled into another person. It is evidence that your own heart has the capacity to open at that depth. The mirror may have been him, but the light was always yours. The tenderness, passion, vision, and courage you experienced were not borrowed from his presence. They were revealed through it. When this key turns, you stop asking him to validate the reality of your transformation. You begin living as the person the connection revealed. You create, speak, move, rest, and love from that expanded identity. Then, if he returns, he is not returning to the version of you who was waiting for permission to live. He is meeting the version of you who has already entered the life your soul was preparing to receive. The fifth chamber is the release of karmic repetition. Not every intense connection is meant to become a permanent partnership. Some arrive to expose the pattern you have repeated with unavailable people, emotionally guarded people, or people who only approach when they feel you slipping away. The intensity may be real, but intensity alone is not compatibility. Chemistry can awaken the heart, but character determines whether the heart is safe. Ask yourself with tenderness, what did this connection teach me about the love I have accepted? Where did I make excuses for inconsistency? Because I was afraid that a boundary would end the bond. Where did I confuse being needed with being cherished? Where did I offer unconditional understanding while receiving conditional presence? These questions are not accusations. They are lanterns. They illuminate the places where your desire for love may have persuaded you to accept a shadow of what your soul truly requested. Releasing a karmic pattern does not require you to hate anyone. It means you stop entering the same doorway hoping the room will be different. If he is truly growing, his return will not require you to become the old version of yourself again. His actions will meet the standard your healing has created. His apology will be accompanied by changed behavior, not only emotional words. His longing will be supported by responsibility. His recognition will be expressed through presence. This is how the heart distinguishes a genuine return from a temporary emotional wave. You do not have to interrogate every sign or decode every kinesistense. You observe. You listen. You allow time to reveal whether the new energy can remain consistent after the intensity fades. A flash of emotion may be beautiful, but devotion is proven in ordinary moments. Keeping promises, having difficult conversations, honoring boundaries, and showing up when there is no dramatic reward. The sixth chamber is sacred timing. Divine timing is not a command to wait indefinitely. It is an invitation to stop forcing what cannot yet hold the truth you are asking it to hold. Sometimes the delay exists because the other person needs to mature. Sometimes it exists because you need to detach your identity from the outcome. Sometimes it exists because the connection must be transformed from fantasy into something honest and embodied. The timing of love is not measured by how quickly desire appears. It is measured by how safely love can be lived. A reunion that happens before both people are ready may only recreate the separation. A conversation that arrives after deep interchange can become the doorway to something entirely different, like a vessel being strengthened in fire. Both people may need to develop the capacity to hold what they once only desired. So if he says he is sorry for taking so long, listen not only to the words but to the energy beneath them. Is he apologizing because he now understands what he wants? Is he willing to speak about what happened without becoming defensive? Can he acknowledge your experience without making his pain the center of the conversation? Does he have the capacity to stay present when you express what you needed? Is he prepared to move slowly enough for trust to rebuild and consistently enough for trust to have somewhere to land? These questions are not signs that you are closed. They are signs that your heart has become wise. The seventh chamber is magnetic embodiment. You do not draw divine love by repeating that someone is destined to return while living in fear that they will not. You align with divine love by becoming familiar with the feeling of being respected, chosen, and emotionally safe within your own presence. Your nervous system must learn that peace is not emptiness. Consistency is not boredom. A calm connection is not less spiritual simply because it does not activate the old wounds. For so long, you may have been trained by your history to recognize love through urgency. The racing heart, obsessive thoughts, unpredictable messages, and sudden closeness followed by distance can feel like passion when they are actually the body trying to predict danger. Your heart frequency upgrades when you begin to recognize love through steadiness, through the ability to breathe, through the freedom to be honest without fearing abandonment, through the quiet confidence that what is meant for you will not require you to betray your inner knowing. This does not mean you will never feel nervous. It means nervousness no longer gets to make your decisions. You can feel the pull and still remain grounded. You can receive a message and still take your time. You can love him and still ask for clarity. You can sense the sacredness of the bond and still allow the human relationship to prove itself. The spiritual and the practical are not enemies. If love is truly sacred, it will eventually seek a truthful expression in the physical world. And there is one final lock: readiness. Many souls ask for reunion while secretly remaining attached to the version of reunion that would heal every wound instantly. They imagine his apology will erase the nights they cried, restore the years they feel they lost, and prove that every moment of uncertainty was worth it. But no person can carry the responsibility of redeeming your entire past. His apology may touch the wound, but your healing cannot depend on the perfection of his words. His return may be meaningful, but your wholeness must already be present when he arrives. Otherwise, the relationship becomes a courtroom where he is constantly asked to prove that he will never hurt you again, and you are constantly waiting for the next sign that the old story is returning. Readiness means the past can be remembered without ruling the present. It means you can welcome love without demanding that it undo your history. It means you can receive accountability without using pain as a weapon. It means you can remain open while honoring discernment. It means you no longer need to punish him for the time it took him to become available, but you also no longer need to reward him with immediate access simply because he finally understands what he lost. Grace does not mean the absence of boundaries. Grace is love with wisdom. The deepest union begins when two people meet as participants in love, not as prisoner and rescuer, not as wounded child and emotional caretaker, not as pursuer and avoidant, but as whole beings willing to practice honesty every day. No reunion can thrive on old roles. If he returns, he must meet the present you, not the person who once accepted crumbs because she was afraid there would be nothing else. And you must meet him as he truly is, not only as the soul you sensed beneath his unfinished behavior. There may be a reason his apology is already moving through the field before it reaches your ears. Sometimes the soul senses a shift before the human mind receives evidence. You may notice memories softening. You may feel less compelled to check, chase, or interpret. You may dream of him without waking in despair. You may suddenly understand that the connection was not taken from you. It was teaching you how to return to yourself. Do not use these sensations to create a new form of waiting. Let them be evidence of your own recalibration. If he comes forward, meet the moment from this grounded place. If he does not come forward immediately, let your life continue to expand. The truth of your worth cannot be suspended between his courage and his fear. Your healing is not a signal flare designed to guide him back. It is the sunrise of your own becoming. Here is what your higher self wants you to remember. You were never foolish for loving deeply. You were not weak because you hoped. You were not wrong for feeling that there was more beneath the surface, but you are also not required to keep reopening the same wound in order to honor what the connection meant. The love was real in the ways it changed you, even if the relationship did not become what you wanted. Meaning is not measured only by permanence. The time he took may have been necessary for his growth, but the time you spent healing was not wasted either. You learned to hear the difference between intuition and anxiety. You learned that missing someone does not mean you must contact them. You learned that forgiveness can coexist with distance. You learned that a sacred bond does not excuse ordinary dishonesty. You learned that your heart can remain loving without remaining unprotected. Every lesson became another stone in the foundation of the self you are now standing upon. If he apologizes, let him. You do not have to rush to soothe him. You do not have to tell him that it was all okay. You do not have to minimize the impact so he can feel better about the past. You can receive the apology with grace and still allow your response to be honest. Maybe you will say, "Thank you for acknowledging that." Maybe you will need time. Maybe you will discover that the apology is the closure you needed, not the beginning you expected. Maybe it will become the first sincere step toward rebuilding something real. Let reality speak. Let consistency speak. Let your peace speak. Words may open the door, but action reveals whether someone is prepared to walk through it. Tonight, or whenever you feel the old ache rise, place your hand over your heart and breathe slowly. Say, "I release the need to force what is sacred. I honor what this connection awakened in me. I am worthy of love that arrives with clarity, presence, and truth. I allow what is aligned to meet me without abandoning myself." Feel the words move beyond the mind. The purpose is not to summon a particular person through desperation. The purpose is to teach your body that love does not have to be pursued from fear. Your heart is not a waiting room. It is a living sanctuary. Anyone who enters must meet the truth that now lives there. Let the breath become a witness to this decision. With every inhale, receive yourself. With every exhale, release the need to control another person's path. And perhaps this is why he will apologize for taking so long. Not because you were meant to remain suspended in longing, and not because the universe wanted to test how much pain you could endure. He may apologize because, when he finally sees you clearly, he will also see the distance between who he was and who he needed to become. He will understand that you were not asking for perfection. You were asking for presence. You were not demanding that he have no wounds. You were asking him to stop making his wounds the reason you had to go without love. His delay was not your fault. Your longing was not your shame. His fear was not your responsibility. And your healing does not need to wait for his permission. You are allowed to bless what was, release what cannot meet you, and still leave the future in the hands of divine wisdom. You are entering the part of the journey where the question changes. It is no longer only, will he come back? It becomes, what kind of love am I available for now? It is no longer, does he feel what I feel? It becomes, can this connection meet me where I now stand? It is no longer, how do I make him understand? It becomes, what do I already understand about myself? That is the shift that changes everything. You stop placing your life on the other side of his decision. You stop treating his awakening as the beginning of yours. You realize that the reunion your soul was asking for began the moment you returned to your own heart. Before anyone else could choose you, you chose to stop abandoning yourself. If he is meant to walk beside you, he will have to meet you there. Not in the old landscape of confusion, but in the new one you created through self-respect. He will have to recognize that your softness is not an invitation to be careless. He will have to understand that your patience was never permission to remain absent. He will have to approach the woman, the man, the soul you have become, with humility, not entitlement. And if he does, you will know the difference. You will not need to convince yourself. You will not need to make every small gesture into a prophecy. Your body will feel the spaciousness of truth. The connection may still be powerful, but it will no longer demand that you abandon your center to keep it alive. There will be room for questions, room for repair, room for laughter, and room for both people to remain fully human. You are not being punished by the delay. You are being taught to recognize love when it no longer resembles the wound. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too much for the person who has the capacity to meet you. You are becoming unavailable for the kind of relationship that only survives when you silence your needs. The love intended for you will not ask you to choose between devotion and dignity. It will not require you to call neglect a spiritual lesson. It will not make you feel guilty for wanting clarity. It will not punish you for having boundaries. It will not disappear simply because you stop chasing it. What is true may require patience, but it will never require the permanent sacrifice of your peace. Let the past be honored without being worshipped. Let the future remain open without being forced. And let this present moment teach you the most important truth of all: you can love someone and still belong completely to yourself. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real from your heart journey. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or love. This isn't content, it's collective healing. Love multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is waiting for this exact activation. Share it, and if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow of divine love guidance. You're not just watching, you're healing. This is your sacred space, and we're just getting started.